Thanks for tuning into Bold TV. I'm Justin Crawford here with Percy Jackson from the Lightning Thief play. But it's really not Percy Jackson. This is Chris Mccarrell, who plays Percy right here on Broadway. And we are so excited to be talking to you today. But I got to show you guys why we're just so excited. Check this out.
Bring on the monster, bring on the monster, bring on the real world. Bring on the monster, bring on the real world. Bring on the real world. Bring on the real world. And I'll be back next summer, you'll see me again. I'll be back next summer, I'll survive till then. I'll be back next summer, you'll see me again. I'll be back next summer, I'll be back next summer, I'll be back next summer. I'll be back next summer, I'll survive till then. I'll be back next summer, you'll see me again. I'll be back next summer, I'll be back next summer.
I know when I first saw the play, man, we were invited to come watch you guys live, and I knew it was something that a lot more people needed to see, not only in the world, but probably the universe, because apparently you guys are related to like gods and goddesses, and before I knew what Percy Jackson even was, I wanted to come see the play and then do the research.
Yes.
Dude, what a play. Not only was it so magical to just sit in a space and kind of see you guys perform something that was originally a comic,
Yeah.
but then ultimately you guys took this from off-Broadway to a national tour. You're sitting on Broadway. I
Yeah.
hope you guys know we're in his dressing room. And the fact that you have your own dressing room, and I asked you, you have a shower in here. What has this journey been like for you, Chris?
I mean, it's just not the traditional trajectory for shows. Usually if an off-Broadway show gets steam, you go to Broadway, and then the tour is kind of always the afterburn of a Broadway run. And we just did this really weird path where we kind of got steam while we were on tour, and the last stop of tour, they're like, hey, we're taking this to Broadway. Are you all down? And
Did you
we're
cry?
like, yeah.
I would've cried.
I got the call in like Boston, and I just remember like sitting under a tree, because it's just like a full-blown dream. It's a dream to be on Broadway, but also just a show that you care a lot about and that you helped create from the beginning when you did not think any of this was even on the radar. We were just too busy trying to make centaurs come out of wheelchairs.
Take us on the journey of what it was like to tell a story, really sending a message to audiences, to people about feeling left out, feeling like you don't belong, and how kind of as an actor, what did that feel like when you knew that that was the message to people?
Yeah, with Percy, it's like what's so amazing about originating roles is it's just this like whole field of freedom in front of you. You're not fitting into a mold that's already been played. So I like saw two paths with Percy. I could make him this really just, cool superhero, or I could really make him the demigod that I needed when I was growing up. So like, he's not always the most masculine heartthrob all the time.
Sure.
And he does stutter every now and then. And he struggles with reading. So I really tried to make a character that was both epic, and he is a hero, and you do trust him and root for him, but on the same side, something that hasn't been done before and would kind of reach out to a different demographic of kids that might not relate to the Hercules of the world. So I really created a character that I felt like I would have needed as a middle schooler or high schooler. And just that freedom and years of honing it in and making it feel cohesive has been, it's how I want to spend my time. Yeah.
What's the feedback been like from the people who are fans of Percy Jackson, the comics, or even just fans of it on Broadway now?
Yeah, it's so crazy. The book series is so popular, and people are so protective of
how it was in the books.
Of
you didn't do this right.
Yeah, of we had to get this right, and it's amazing the process. I really just put my blinders on. I was like, I know if I just sit with this and I do it from my heart and make him make sense, it'll work. So it's just kind of creepy in a way, like so much individual private work, and
Yeah.
then you put it out, and everyone's like, that's exactly how I imagined Percy when I was reading the books. And I'm like, I have no idea how I pulled that off, but I'm glad.
And you
so
did
yeah,
good.
yeah. So a lot of people feel like we really respected the book's tone, the book's heart, and they see these characters that they lived alone in their heads with finally up on stage interacting, and it's been like a joy of a process.
Man, well, another joy of a process is where you and your entire theater family here is going to take us out into where all of this magic happens for the audiences out on the mezzanine, so we can get a nice, beautiful shot of the theater that you guys have been performing on now.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys only have so much time left in the show, but how many shows roughly would you say you've performed on that stage here?
Oh, on this stage, it's a 16-week limited engagement run. We have 4 weeks left, so I think we've done more than 100.
That's a lot.
Which is, it's a
Do
lot.
you see the math that he did there too? So he's not just an actor, but a smart actor.
Smart mathematician.
That's it. We'll have to find a way after this series is over with The Lightning Thief and this 16-week run is over. We're going to have to cast you in something with a little bit more math genius focus.
Yeah, it's definitely not Percy.
All right, let's check it out. We're going to head up to the mezzanine. Here we are. We're at the mezzanine right here in the Longacre Theater where Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief, is. And so we went from his dressing room to here simply because we want to get into the mind of an actor. And I felt like if we were in your dressing room, it would probably be a little too intimate, don't you think? So as an actor, why did you even get started in it?
My older brother was always in music theater, and he was like a celebrity in my mind. So I always thought theater was like the coolest thing to be good at. So I got started because of him, and then I kind of picked up steam, and I was like, this is the coolest thing anyone can do because my brother does it, and he's the coolest teenager I know.
There's no joke that this stuff is alive. So when you come into a theater, I don't know if everybody's been to a theater on Broadway, but everything that happens on that stage is super live. So it's almost like you get a redo in a sense each time you get up there. What's that been like? Every time you've mentioned you've done this a little over 100 times.
Yeah.
So every time you get back on that stage to do it once more, what's that feeling like to get to redo it?
I always describe like I love theater and the repetition of it because it kind of feels like I go into like my little gold mine every night and I get to like search for new little crystals that like are somehow in this cave, and I always know I'm ready to move on from a show when I go into the mine, and I'm like, I kind of picked out all the little nuances I could get, but I love the repetition of it. I feel like the performances always deepen and evolve, and it's also one of the really wonderful things about theater is there's this lack of pressure in a way when you have so many performances that you can really go out there and be natural and calm and relaxed because you know you're about to do it all over again.
Done it so many times, you can keep doing it.
There's never like an intense laser magnifying glass on one particular performance, maybe like opening and stuff like that, but it actually gives a lot of breadth and space to not be so nervous out there.
Do you ever get nervous though?
No, I get insecure, which I feel like is different than nerves. Sometimes I like, I just like want the audience to get it so much, and you look out and you just see one person who like might be jet lagged and like, you know, asleep in your whole show. You're like, am I boring? You know?
No
so like,
way.
no, I never deal with nerves, but you definitely deal with, it's like social anxiety in a way. Performing in front of thousands of people, you feel like you're hosting a party, and
your job is to entertain.
Yeah, and you're always like taking what's coming back at you and figuring out what that means. But I think you grow out of that the older you get.
Well, Chris, if you had to look at the one person who was dozing off from jet lag, right? If they were, I mean, I think you guys put on an incredible show, but if you had to look at one person who you felt like wasn't as impacted, thinking about your career so far in acting, what's the legacy that you want that person to understand you as an actor?
The legacy that I would want the sleeping jet-lagged person to remember
who got off a plane from Delta to land in New York after 5
is I think there's a really funny John Mulaney sketch he does about just the fact that every time a movie comes out, he's like, how great is that? They made a movie. They all showed up. They made a storyline. They really believed in it, and it's hysterical. But I sometimes think about theater that way. It's like, how amazing that we came up with this story, came up with so it's like, it's such a feat. Any show you see, just the amount of organization, the amount of talent, and the amount of preparation that goes on for everyone to have fun and also meditate about their own lives a little bit. I think there's a pretty magical quality about theater, but any show you see, I think, is such a feat from a collection of people in a world where it's easy to be like, maybe not today. The amount of times we have to organize to make a show happen is quite a feat, and to get it to Broadway, it's insane.
And you did it. You're here. And now we have to let him go get ready for yet another show.
Yep, we got
So I want to thank you for letting us talk to you in 2 different locations. Into your locker room. Now we're at the mezzanine.
Locker room.
If you guys haven't seen it yet here in New York City, you have to. Not only to come meet. Can people meet you if they come to the show?
We do stage tour every night where we walk out the door and we sign autographs and talk to people who stick around. Yeah.
You would totally have the chance to come meet Chris and all the other cast members until January 5th. Yep. But I promise you, if you're in New York City, you have totally got to come see Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief musical.
Yes.
Until next time, guys.
Try to be a good kid, good son.